All right, we are here on a very sleepy Monday because yesterday was President's Day, and most of my students actually got to sleep to crack of noon. Unlike me, I cannot do that. I did take a nap though. No, not really. Yesterday was all dayer. It was really rough. All right, if you hadn't done so yet, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Now, if you noticed, especially in my class, we did not solve quadratics where the a value was bigger than 1 by factoring. And this is why. And I tell this to all my math people, and they don't believe me. Come to ACT or any standardized test, and it says solve this quadratic, you're going to use the path of least resistance. Now, there's other ways you could do this by factoring, maybe. You can do this really crazy thing called completing the square. That's about as fun as like being stuck on a 12-hour long car ride with your ex and no earbuds between you. Okay. Yeah. So think about that. But those are used for something a little bit further up. So here's the deal. We have all this stuff. Okay. Here's our formula or our equation. All right. Here is our formula. And that is in the same color. Cheese and crackers. Can't have nothing. All right. And then we have this other part. Now, it took me a long time to actually understand why it was called the discriminant. Okay. The discriminant actually tells you how many like real answers you have. Okay. Now, that's what's weird because kind of starting tomorrow, we're going to really jump off into the deep end of when math people started doing drugs. Okay, because then we're going to actually learn tomorrow. We're going to learn about imaginary numbers. Yeah, I know. Believe it or not, and they're actually used a lot in the real world. It doesn't make sense if you use your imagination. Okay, but I like highlighting this because this is where I start. Okay, so I tried to type this up like if y'all were getting a small sneak peek into Mr. Jeffrey's brain. This is actually how I operate. Okay, trust me, you only want a small sneak peek. You don't want a big peek because you will probably end up like in the floor, like crying. All right. All right. Now we're going to start with our A, B, and C. Our A is 3, our B is 5, and our C is 1. Now, yeah, they must equal to 0. The first 3 we have, I've got them set up where we don't have to do anything big. Now, learning this is a lot slower than actually practicing it. Okay. So just bear with me. I know some of you are like, oh my God. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to plug the values into that thing that I call the discriminant, this b squared minus 4ac. Now, super important, okay? In Espanol, muy importante. In another language, I don't know what that would mean, but it's very important that you actually type this into your calculator just like it would be on the paper. Because if you don't do the parentheses in the right spot, if you do the negative somewhere, the calculator is a simple machine. It's going to use the order of operations. Okay. So B is 5, A is 3, and this is 1. Now, yes, I love my own sound effects. And as y'all saw when I was doing the bead video, that commentary that I was doing, yeah, I knew I was recording, but I would say that stuff to myself anyways. I have to entertain myself. All right. So in my calculator, I'm typing in just like it is written here. Now, can we agree what's on my calculator looks just like it is on that paper? Okay, good. Now I hit enter. I get 13. Now, for all you Swifty people, you are really excited. Why? Because that's Taylor's favorite number. All right. I don't mind Taylor Swift. What bothers me is the hold that she kind of has over people. That's what bothers me. Okay. Like when people are making major life choices based over something that a pop singer does, that's not a big thing. All right. So that's step 2. Step 3, we're going to plug in the value from step 2. So we're going to take this value and plug it in right there. And then we're going to plug in the other values. Okay, so the other thing we're missing is a B right here because, I'll put that right there. And then our A right here. Now, after that, we just reduce, clean up, simplify, polish, tweak, whatever you want to say. There's like 16 different words you could say. All right, so now negative times 5 is negative 5. Okay, we're still going to keep 13 right here. And then 2 times 3 is 6. Now, I try to do this because I'm a weird teacher. We can all agree, right? Okay. I try to make these so this square root is just it, okay, that it doesn't simplify anymore. So, like, if I do the square root of 13 in my calculator, I get the square root of 13, okay? The calculators that I have now, if you have a different calculator and you need help with it, let me know, okay? I'll try to make sure that we're all on the same page. I, Listen, I'm not really worried about if you can reduce something. Can you get right here? Okay. Now, believe it or not, in a nutshell, help, I'm in a nutshell. How did I get stuck in this nutshell? That, that, um, this is it. Okay. So, just like I've told y'all before, here's the process. Okay. The numbers will change. The process does not. Okay. Y'all, y'all get that, right? Okay. Just kind of like if I could never do this job, but if I worked at a donut shop, I would be 1,600 pounds. No, but look, if when you're making the cake donuts, like your regular cake donuts, your chocolate cake donuts, your blueberry, okay, it's the same process. You just change the ingredients, right? Just like you're making cookies, okay? Chocolate chip cookies, about the same process as, oatmeal cookies, about the same process of peanut butter cookies. The ingredients change, okay? Now, who all now is craving donuts and cookies? Yes, we all are now. Okay. All right. No, we do not have advisory today because today is Tuesday. Womp womp. Unless you really love advisory. Yeah. Yeah. We have this thing called advisory where we're supposed to talk about our feelings. I have ninth graders. Not a good time. All right. So, number 2. So, we find our A, B, and C. Well, this is 1, this is 5, and this is negative 3. Okay. So, we're taking this and we're plugging it in. All right. So, our 5 goes here. Our 1 goes here and negative 3 goes here. Again, you have to make sure that you're plugging it in just as it's written. Okay. Does anybody know how to say like very important in a different language other than English and Spanish? Say it again. Fotosh. Fotosh. Okay. And that is Ukrainian? No. Hungarian. I'm sorry. It overlaps in my brain. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Fotosh. All right. So we plug this in and we get 37. Okay. Now we take this, plug it in right here. We put our other two terms. And then we're going to clean it up. Now, I'm pretty sure because, yeah, the square root of 37 is the square root of 37. It will not reduce anymore. Now, I don't want decimals, okay? I don't want decimals, and this is why. So many people, they round decimals weird. Decimals normally don't translate very well, and if you have chemistry, you're tired of hearing about significant digits. Okay, so negative 5, 7, and 2. And there's our answer. All right, anybody super lost right now? Anybody want to be super lost? No? Now, I have picked, hopefully, if I did my due diligence when I made this the first time, I have picked these problems to not reduce right now. Okay. And if something happens later, we will talk about this. All right. Now, all right, let's move on to number 3. I was scratching beside my nose. That wasn't going up my nose. I know somebody was thinking that, wasn't they? Hey, Hallie, why are beekeepers such good at are good at judging beauty pageants? Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Womp womp. I love it when I go to work with the bees. My dad's like, "You need help?" And he just wants to go with me. And I look over there, and next thing I know, he's like 50 yards away. You're doing great. I don't want to be around them. Now, when we're plugging this in here, okay, this is where we have to be very, very specific about making sure that the negative is on the inside. And this is why I'm going to show you first before we plug it in. If I do not do the parentheses around this, you're going to get a negative 36. And this is why. The calculator does order of operations, parentheses, exponents. They will actually square the 6, and then they said this is multiplying it by -1. Okay, so be very persnickety. All right, so I plug this in, and I get 0. Wow. Now, up until now, y'all are used to seeing zeros in math, right? Y'all now, when y'all see zeros in math, there's like a 10 in front of it, right? In the grade book. Yeah, good job. All right, so now I'm going to plug in my other stuff. -6 and 9. All right. So as we reduce this, well, negative times a negative, this becomes +6. This becomes 18. All right. Now, the square root of 0 is 0. All right. So this will actually reduce a little bit more. And if you're not good at reducing fractions, remember the N over D button. N over D. It's good for you and me. Whoop. And that reduces down to 1/3. Okay. So you didn't know when you was going to walk in math class you were going to be this entertained today. See, now you're trying out for volleyball. The person beside you's trying out for volleyball, and y'all having an awesome time in math. They don't know who you are. the tens of people that watch these videos. It's like some of y'all when y'all do those tic tac dances. This is gonna get tens of views. All right. Now let's look at this last one. Okay. Can we find our A, B, and C as this thing is written? No, we can't because it's not equal to 0. So we need to move this 9 over. Ooh. And it's very similar to what we had last time that, when you move it over, this is just going to change it to a negative. Okay. And I'll do it like that because it's hard to see the negatives in front of the parenthesis or equal sign and stuff. All right. So A, B, and C. All right. So now, again, take those numbers. We're going to plug them in, see what we get. I don't even know what we're going to get on this one. It's been like 2 years since I've done this problem. They told us in college when we want to be a teacher, they said a good teacher does every problem in the book or every problem before you assign it to a student. Apparently, I'm not a good teacher because I don't. Sometimes I'm just as surprised as y'all are. Kind of like that typo we had on the test the other day. All right. Now, we actually get a big number. We get 225. Okay. Now, then we're plugging in, let's see, 3 and then 6. Now, this is where I messed up by not doing this problem. Okay. 225 is a perfect square. Okay. 225 is a perfect square. So as I clean this up, this is -3. This is 12. Now, when I take the square root of 225, I get 15. Okay. Yep, we had to have one on here where we got a perfect square. Now, if you get this where you can actually take the square root of something, okay, then you have a little bit more to do. Okay. I normally don't like these problems, but they're a necessary evil. Now we have two versions. We have one version where this is -3 plus 15 over 12. And then another version, -3 minus 15 over 12. All right. And we do that because 15 squared is 225. -15 squared is also 225. All right. That's just the way it is. Okay. This becomes 12 over 12. So 12 over 12, we get 1. This becomes -18 over 12. And -18 over 12 becomes -3 over 2, or if you want to do a decimal, 1.2 or 1.5. Okay. And that ends up being our answer. Now, I will tell you this. This one snuck in on me. Okay. This is what happens when I actually tried to have a weekend where I like didn't do math. I knew all weekend I was going to have to do this. Guess what? Didn't do it. Friday night, hung out with friends. Saturday night, I had a date with my wife, not somebody else. Okay. Sunday, I worked all day and then visited my wife. And yesterday, I came in and actually had to fold the 3 baskets of laundry that I've had by my bed all week. So, none of y'all have ever done that, right? Just had baskets of clothes that you hadn't folded and put away. Multiple baskets, maybe a basket. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. So that is our lesson for today. Okay. We don't have a practice sheet. Oh, no. Okay. But I'll work on one for tomorrow. That way we can kind of, do a good warm up for practice. And then we'll move into when math people did drugs. Okay. All right. Don't forget, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Good stuff, good things. Roll Tide.